friends, we continue to monitor the events on the front lines in Ukraine and Russia as well as the latest news. And as of today, the situation continues to escalate. Specifically, there have been periodic attempts by the Russians to break through the first defense line, but they are not retreating and are trying to carry out their offensive operations to disrupt the plans of the armed forces of Ukraine. But before we delve into all the details, please check your subscription to the channel and be sure to click the bell icon to receive notifications about new episodes. And let's start with the direction of Vuhledar. According to the reports from the Russians, the armed forces of Ukraine are conducting attacks in the areas of Priyutne, Urozhaine and Novodonetsk. However, unfortunately, as seen for several days now, the front line remains unchanged, and the occupiers are trying everything to maintain their defense. They are also shelling the liberated settlements, and for the past 2 days there have been Russian attacks to the east of Vuhledar and offensive actions in Novomykhailivka. But they haven't been successful, as the Ukrainian armed forces repel all attacks and the front line remains unchanged. Likewise, the Russians in their Telegram channel admit that the battles are difficult. In the Zaporizhia direction, the occupiers failed to dislodge the Ukrainian armed forces from the village of Pyatikhatki, and as of today, it is reported that Ukrainian forces are trying to expand the controlled territory. However, there hasn't been any successes so far, but there is a possibility that these are local-scale battles, and the large-scale offensive hasn't yet begun. Meanwhile, the Russians, in turn, believe that this is indeed a significant counteroffensive and continue to shell the entire front line without ceasing. Moreover, even the Russians themselves can see that the modern tanks are not actively used yet. Reconnaissance is still ongoing. In the Kherson direction, intense shelling continues along the entire front line. Russia reports that the armed forces of Ukraine are attempting to break through to the left bank, so they are launching attacks on the frontline settlements in order to destroy them. As always, the civilian population suffers from these actions.
Вчора в області Росія вбила 2 людей, 25 поранені. У Херсоні росіяни атакували будинки, медзаклад, дитсадок, супермаркет. У місті поранено 23 людини, серед них 3 дітей. 15-річний хлопчик та 2 дівчаток, 16 та 10 років. У Новобориславі росіяни вбили подружжя, чоловік і дружина, котрі в той час мирно спали у власній оселі, загинули. Також є поранені у Шляховому та Білозерці. Всіх постраждалих шпиталізували, лікарі турбуються про них, мої співчуття родинам загиблих та скорішого одужання поранених.
In the Avdiivka direction, the occupiers decided not to wait for a counter-offensive in Donetsk. Therefore, today they are actively trying to encircle Avdiivka, conducting offensive actions on the city itself and Stepove, located near the coking plant, to maximize the encirclement of Avdiivka. The fighting for Vodyane continues and shelling continues. It should be noted that the Russians themselves report the capture of some of their positions in the area of Vodyane. To the south of this area, the Russians didn't succeed in Krasnohorivka, and as of today, there are battles only in Mariinka. Additionally, a large number of shelling incidents are observed. In the Bakhmut direction, the situation remains unchanged. The Ukrainian armed forces are gradually carrying out counter-offensive operations. There have been successes in the Verkhivka and Yagidne areas, but there have been no new changes in the past 24 hours. The Ukrainian armed forces report that they continue to advance towards Klishivka, even though it's only 1 kilometer from the extreme front line to this settlement. It seems that Russia doesn't intend to give up even this 1 kilometer. They are sending reinforcement and strengthening their defense. In the Dvorichny direction, the Russians have increased the number of shelling incidents along the entire front line, but haven't initiated any new offensive actions, and the front line remains unchanged. In the Svatovo area, yesterday's attacks on Stelmachivka were unsuccessful, and today only shelling of Novoselivka and Kiselivka is reported. The situation in Crimea remains highly stable and there are no reports of shelling today. In the Siversky direction, yesterday's attack by the Ukrainian armed forces are currently unsuccessful, with the defense holding and the front line remaining unchanged. Today, all attacks have ceased and the situation is stable. As of today, the Ukrainian armed forces have managed to destroy an additional 670 units of Russian manpower. In the Genichisk region, early in the morning, a Ukrainian missile hit the Russians and an explosion occurred at the Russian ammunition depot in the village of Rykovo near Genichisk. On the night of June 18th, the Russian occupation army launched an attack on Dnipropetrovsk region, used Iranian drones of the Shahed type. Ukrainian air defense forces shot down 2 Shahed unmanned aerial vehicles launched by the Russians towards Dnipropetrovsk region. Alexander Vikul, chairman of the Defense Council of Kryvyi Rih, reported that the unmanned aerial vehicles were destroyed in the Kryvyi Rih region by the private military company unit SHIT. As reported by Ukrainian news, the Russians attacked 10 Ukrainian regions yesterday. Over the past day, Russian forces have shelled Kherson region 68 times, resulting in casualties and 4 injured individuals. This information was reported by RBC Ukraine. Within 24 hours, the Russians launched 467 projectiles from mortars, artillery, Grad rocket systems, aircraft and drones towards Kherson region. In Kherson city, Russia fired 29 projectiles. Russian ammunition hit residential areas, resulting in 1 fatality and 4 injuries, including 1 child. The Russian occupiers continuously shell Kherson and the surrounding region, targeting residential buildings and other civilian objects with heavy weaponry. Specifically, the Russian army used guided bombs during the shelling of Kherson region yesterday. As a result of these hostile attacks, 3 people were injured. And that's all for now. Thank you for watching and take care. Bye-bye.